Welcome back to Trejo's World. We got Joy in the house.
Hi.
Yeah. All right. So, as you guys have read with the title, we're doing a fish tacos mukbang. We're doing, or mukbang, if you want me to pronounce it right. But we're doing fish tacos keto style. So, how do we make these?
So, well, the inside, the inside of the taco is fried cod. I dipped it in coconut flour, fried it in coconut oil. I made a cilantro cabbage slaw with just that, and I added avocado, tomato, and green onion, and a serrano, which they're flipping out about right now because apparently it has a little bit of a kick to it. And then I topped it with a sour cream that I mixed bootleg tapatio.
Bootleg tapatio. So we got Valentina. I went to the Dollar Tree to pick up some tapatio, but they don't have it. So we got the Valentina on deck.
Why'd you slam it down like that?
Because that's my signature.
Bro.
If you don't almost break the table, you almost forgot.
I did.
Well, I'm supposed to say have the tapatio on deck, but yeah, all I had was the Valentina, and then they had the weak spice Valentina. So I guess it's good that we have the serrano, right? Okay. So.
But apparently, I guess you're gonna get some tapatio in here, right?
Yeah, the big bottle.
All right.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and dig in. It's Taco Tuesday. Let us know in the comments below what you guys had for Taco Tuesday. If you had tacos, what kind you had. And then also, we're gonna be talking about, are carbs bad? Or your experience with carbs. Are they bad for you? We're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna give my opinion and Joy's gonna give her opinion. All right? All right, so let's go ahead and let's try them out.
This one is intact, so this one.
Bruh,
Oh, sorry.
that looks so delicious. Look at that.
Sorry.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and dig in.
Go ahead. I guess I'm still getting used to this whole thing, so.
Mm-hmm.
There. What?
Mm. We've got some YouTube meme videos going on in the background in case you're wondering.
Baby girl is here, hanging out with us. But baby girl's also a little camera shy, but she does like the YouTube a lot.
They'll probably ask in the comments below who's baby girl. Did you want to explain who baby girl was?
My daughter. She is 15, and she's about to get her learner's permit.
Nice.
And she actually tried driving around the corner today.
Bro,
And it looked.
By the way, Joy has a little cold.
Yeah.
Bro, that turn wasn't that bad though.
Right.
She did really good for her first time. You know how when people start driving, it looks like. It didn't look like that at all. She was.
Right.
I was like, oh, I'm impressed. My goodness.
So she's a proud mama.
Yeah. Very. Yes, this is my life.
All right. How do you like the taco?
I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I'm almost done with one.
Yeah.
Oh man. Party foul. All right, so let's go ahead and get it started. Are carbs bad? I mean, as you guys know, we're doing keto. We're doing a lot of keto videos. Obviously, we've both eaten carbs in our lifetime. So, are carbs bad? So what do you think? Are carbs bad? Like, is keto the only way?
No. I don't think it's the only way. I think there's something different that works for everybody. And for, I think I think the end thing to do is to go the keto route. Because.
Is it an end thing?
I think so. Do I think it's kind of a fad? I don't know about fad, but I think people still resist it because it's just so out of the what we're all conditioned to think you got to do when you work out. I mean, you still have to work out, and I know I've read some keto stuff that advises against working out. I don't get it as somebody who likes to be active and likes to work out. So I still try to, at least. I mean, I
Mhm.
haven't been in a while. I was in the hospital a few weeks back, and so I'm still kind of battling a little bit of low energy. So going to the gym is still hard for me. But typically, I like to go at least 3 times a week, if not at least 5. And it's just because it's a self-care thing. I like to work out, and keto just kind of makes everything better.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And what aspect? How does keto make things better for you?
you know what I found is so my whole carb thing is I like snacks, and then I also like desserts. Okay, I'm not really big on having a plate full of rice. Yeah, I know. Okay, I even growing up, I still preferred just a little bit of rice with a lot of the entree, or I didn't really care for bread too much. I mean, I do like bread. Like I love some Bodine sourdough. Don't get me wrong, but I do. It's not breads and starches and pastas. That's not a huge problem for me. It's always been snacks and desserts. And so once I really committed to cutting all that stuff out, I started noticing a lot of things were just different. So
What are a few of those things?
well, mainly I get really hangry. You can ask my daughter. David has not been around for a lot of my hangry days because for most of, for I think a good bulk of the time that we've been together, I've been doing this keto thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the hangriness, I guess you can say, has gone away. Like I don't get these strong hunger urges where I'm like, oh my god, I want to eat all the food. I don't get those anymore, and I used to. And then also my work and my job and just my lifestyle keeps me really busy, so I can go long periods of time without eating. Not like intermittent fasting kind of thing, but I'll go long periods of time without eating, and I'd get sick. Like I was having some sort of crash, and it happened a lot when I was at my heaviest. And I noticed that there would be times when I just felt like I was gonna pass out. Like I'd be on my feet, and all of a sudden, like things started spinning. I started feeling really sick.
Uh-huh.
It was bad, and I thought, maybe I have a blood pressure issue because I've gained a lot of weight. But it wasn't that, because my blood pressure always checked out. It was, I feel like ever since I took, I started doing keto and stayed really committed to it, I feel like all that's gone away. And it's almost because of that I keep at it now. Sorry, I know I ramble.
No, it's okay. I mean, I think it's helpful for people to know if you guys experience anything like that doing keto or eating less carbs, let us know. But I think the whole being hangry thing and not being as hungry has to do with your insulin not being spiked all the time.
Yeah.
When you eat, you do get a slight spike of insulin, but if you're eating things that are low glycemic or low carbohydrate, your insulin isn't going to be spiked as much, and that's what really causes cravings and that hunger. For me, obviously I don't think carbs are bad, but as she knows, I've been experiencing things with carbs that I didn't really experience before. Like I'll have days where I'll eat beans, or I'll eat tortillas or bread or something, and it makes me really like full, like bloated, sleepy. Like I'll get a crash. It'll make me fatigued, and I just feel that with eating low carbohydrate and higher protein, higher fat foods, that one, I get fuller quicker, and it's not necessarily full, but I get satisfied quicker, and I don't have that bloated feeling, and then I also don't have, like you said, I can go longer periods of time without eating. I'll get hungry, but like you said, it's not like an irritated type hungry. It's like I'll be hungry, but if I need to put it off, I'll be fine. So I definitely believe that, but I never thought carbs were bad. I still don't think they are, but I think that carbohydrates there's certain people that can't handle carbohydrates well. I don't know if it's a carbohydrate allergy or if it's just, the way our body operates, because I don't think I've always been like that. I think I have just abused the processed carbohydrates so much in my life that I've become this way, insulin resistant, so that when I do eat carbs, even good ones like whole beans or whole fruits, that I still don't feel good, and I don't feel optimal in my health.
Right.
So
Dia had her hand up. I'm just curious to know what. And
Oh.
I'm sorry, it's instinct. I answer raised hands.
Yeah. That's,
Yes.
And I appreciate when they're not like, oh.
Right.
So, yes, Dia.
I was also
Track, Dia.
So I was also like, as David was saying, like you feel more full
Mhm.
when you eat carbs. I realized that you actually eat a lot healthier portions than before. Like before, when we would eat a whole lot of carbs,
Ah.
like you wouldn't eat much, and I actually got worried sometimes because like you wouldn't eat at all.
Mhm.
It was like, okay, she's going to lose weight,
Right.
but like not in the healthiest way.
So I don't know if you heard that. I know she's off camera. If you didn't hear that, she did say that she noticed that my portion size had decreased. Now, before keto, I could really put it down. I don't know if I'm really proud of that, but I could hang. Okay, but I mean, she's absolutely right. Ever since I started eating keto, I don't eat these massive portions anymore. Like I really, honestly, I have 3 tacos here. Not entirely sure I'm gonna finish it. It's probably gonna take me a couple hours, and that's fine. But at least I have lunch for tomorrow.
Right.
So she's absolutely right. I don't eat as much anymore. And the full that you get. Here's the big thing. The full that you get. You know how like when people eat too much, you're like, oh, I got a food baby, or I'm in a food coma. You don't get that. Like I feel satisfied, but I don't feel like overly full. It's kind of nice actually, because I hate that feeling. It's hard to function when you. Well, I just kind of tie it back to my lifestyle, and I'm a busy. I mean, technically, I guess I'm a single mom. Not really. Obviously, I have my partner here, and
I know what you mean, though.
You know what I mean? Like I think before he and I got together, I was living the lifestyle of a single mom where I was doing everything myself. So I don't have time to sit around and digest my food after feeling that full. So feeling satisfied after a smaller meal is definitely a better fit for my lifestyle. It allows me to accommodate the things that I have to do during my day that I can't hand off to anybody else, because I don't have that option. Right? And so like I said, I'm starting to learn that I do kind of now, but it's taken a minute for me to kind of get there where I can hand stuff off. So,
Yeah, and I agree with that. With what we were saying about smaller portions, it just kind of comes automatically. You don't really try to eat smaller portions. You can try to eat smaller portions, but it's almost like the body corrects itself. Not just that, but I think what the main thing is you're eating more fats, and fats are more satiating, so you get full quicker. And like we said, it's not full, like bloated full. There's a difference between a carbohydrate full and a protein and fats full. It's just a different feeling. Go to a Sizzler or whatever, Texas Roadhouse, and maybe what's the better one you said? Cattleman's. One of those steakhouses, and eat you like a prime rib steak, and that's it. And see how you feel after that. You'll be satisfied. Or go somewhere and eat you some nachos or something, and it'll be a different feeling. It'll be a bloated feeling. You won't feel good after. And I think it's a combination of not just the carbohydrates, but also the vegetable oils that they use. After learning a little bit more about vegetable oils like canola oil, soybean oil, corn oil, and technically vegetable oil, those aren't good fats, and I think those contribute to.
Me too. That's a mood.
Those contribute to feeling inflamed and bloated. What happened?
You know what happened.
She almost
Well, they
lost
don't.
it again.
Okay. Something you're going to learn about me really quick is I'm really clumsy. And I, for whatever reason, drop food all the time.
Tell them the story about the hot dog.
All the time.
No, because that's actually mildly embarrassing. But okay, fine. So we were eating hot dogs and eggs for breakfast this morning, and I dropped one of the little tiny bits of hot dog, and it disappeared. And I know it hit the floor because it hit my ankle before it disappeared. And I have looked everywhere. I have looked under this chair. I have looked in my work bag, which was open in front of me, and that thing has disappeared.
It's like losing a sock in the dryer. It's nowhere to be found.
The the hot dog gnome got it.
Yeah.
It's gone into hot dog
It wasn't mine,
oblivion.
'cause mine was
Or breakfast oblivion. And see, and that's the other thing too, is I have a dog at home. Her name is Maya, and Maya would have just gotten it. I mean, there is no problem with food on the floor at my house. For one, I have pets and they stay inside, so I'm not eating off the floor over there. But I mean,
eye contact with the camera.
okay, fine. I'm still getting used to this. I'm sorry.
I'm helping you.
Thank you. But yes, no, drop food is not a problem, especially with Maya around. We'll have to put Maya on camera one day.
Mm-hmm.
I miss Maya.
Vlog time.
So, overall, keto works best for us. It took me a while to discover that because some of you may or may not know that I've lost weight before not doing keto, eating whatever the hell I wanted, just counting my calories. And that worked for me at a time, but this time around in my life, I thrive a lot better on a lower carbohydrate diet. It just makes me feel better. I think clearer, my mood's better. I don't have as many crashes, and like Joy was saying earlier, I don't get hangry. And that's a great thing. So I definitely would recommend it to people. I think just do your research. A lot of people think that if you're going to clog your arteries by eating animal fat and things like that, but just look it up, do your research yourself, and see about it. There's a lot about myths about cholesterol, or should I say not even myths, but there's more hypothesis. There's theories about it, not necessarily proof. But anyways, that's for you guys to figure out and research. But there's plenty of channels out there. Doctors, Dr. Barry, is an actual physician. Dr. Berg, I believe, is a chiropractor, but he has a lot of good information out there. Darren Schmidt, I think he's actually a chiropractor as well, but he has good information. And there's other channels out there that you can research that. Any more carbohydrate information or anything that people should know, or any advice you would give somebody who wants to try keto?
Carbs put him in a bad mood. Just saying. I get a terrible mood. And you'll all get them. Yes! I get a text from him in the middle of work like, I feel terrible. I feel like shit. Like, so don't eat carbs no more.
Well, I mean, we have to eat carbs. There's some carbs, a little bit of carbs in everything.
Yeah.
It's many of the processed carbs that get me, but that's the thing. I thought that's what it was, but I had black beans this morning, and I felt terrible all day from the black beans. Like, I felt extremely full, extremely tired. They want to see your whole face. Actually, when the video actually comes out, your face is probably in it, because for some reason this iPad doesn't show the outer parts, but then they end up being in there. But yeah, I definitely would say if you're looking to try keto, just do your research. And what she told me, good advice she told me, is don't think about what you can't eat, but think about what you can eat. Right?
Yep.
Because I definitely would do that. Like, man, I love this, I can't have that. I actually got to a point kind of where I enjoy cheeseburgers without the bun. The bun doesn't really do anything except get in the way now.
What it is he would always come from this place of lack. And what I mean by that, he would always be so negative about what he couldn't have. Oh man, my body needs this stuff. Like, always super negative. And it was like,
In
okay.
that voice.
Yeah, exactly like that. And finally I was just like, look, dude, you have to really just kind of give up the idea that you can't have all this stuff. What you can do is frame it in your brain where you're thinking of, oh, but I can have this. I can have meat. I can have vegetables. I can have cheese. The other thing too is that I do like to get really creative in the kitchen. I do enjoy cooking. It's something that is relaxing to me because it, like I said, it allows me to be creative. There are a lot of things that I make that I don't rely on a recipe for. A lot of it has to do with the fact that I just enjoy cooking in general. And doing keto has allowed me to be creative with my food. And the one thing that he tells me all the time is that keto's fun with you. And I don't know if I strive to make it fun. I just want to eat. And I like to eat.
No, you strive to make it fun.
Yeah, that too. I mean, I have to enjoy cooking because half the time I don't like cooking at the end of a work day because it's hard and it's time consuming and I have other things that I have to get to. But but I do like cooking and keto has allowed me to be creative. Um, he's the cheese shell guy though, and so that was something I struggled with. Was I love tacos, but I'm like, how can I do this? Low carb tortillas are kind of they're kind of garbage, and I don't like them. So am I just gonna do lettuce wrap tacos? I mean, that's definitely something I like doing too because I do like fresh vegetables. But then he came up with a cheese shell, and so it's a nice little has a crunch. So I still get that crunch, and that was thanks to him. So we get to put kind of our we get to put our heads together when it comes to cooking, and we get to come up with all these great things to eat for dinner every night. It really kind of brought me back to cooking too, because it got to a point where I was eating takeout all the time, and that was bad for my wallet. So, yeah. So here we are.
Yeah. And I found the cheese shell recipe by watching YouTube as well. I think it was a channel called Keto Diabetic Aline or something like that. She was a diabetic woman who did keto and she came up with the cheese shell recipe. I'm not sure if she saw it somewhere or she came up with it on her own, but either way, it was very helpful. And once I did it, I'm like, hey, I can still get that same crunch from a taco shell. And to be honest, there are some good low carb tortillas out there now, but you got to subtract the fiber. It's just better to go with the cheese shell because you get the fat from it, and you don't have to worry about the fiber content in it to take that away from your total carb count. So that's pretty much all we have. I mean, I'm enjoying it. I am still learning a lot on the keto diet, but like she said, I definitely enjoy eating together. The fact that we are on that same way of eating, it makes it a lot easier, and we can come up with different recipes, make it fun and enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So, is there anything else you want to let them know before we go? Till next time. All right, you guys. Well, till next time. Thanks for watching.